Hello guys, it is Brittany here. Welcome back to my Color Guard YouTube channel. If you are watching this video, I'm assuming you want to know more about this piece of equipment here. If you do, then keep on watching. If you have not seen my drop spin or track/flourish tutorial, or you're not so solid on your other pieces of equipment, like flag for instance, I'd highly recommend you kind of deal with that first before you come here, because this thing might make your life just a little bit harder. But if you've done all that, good on you, and let's go learn how to do some singles. So first things first, when it comes to learning singles, is to know what both of our hands are responsible for when it comes to tossing. Lucky for you, if you've tossed a flag before, your hands do the same thing. Your left hand is going to be your gas pedal and your right hand is going to be your steering wheel. That meaning your left hand will provide the push, which gets your equipment momentum. Your right hand will be the one telling it where to go, aka when to release, which will give you your proper amount of rotations. Your right hand is also your steering wheel in the way that if you adjust its height, that'll give you more or less rotations. So first we're going to start at a right flat. For rifle, there is a single on the right side and on the left side. So like I said before, please watch my other videos if you have not already, because these terms have already been explained. So at right flat, we're going to have my left hand palm down to the ground, right hand palm up to the sky in the neck. Want to make sure that our rifle is completely flat across. My arms are nice and boxed, so I have weight over my rifle. Don't shrink when you have your rifle. You always want to be strong with it, so that way you can have nice strong catches and releases. So just like we do on flag, my left hand is going to push straight down to the ground, which gives my equipment momentum. My right hand is going to steer it where it needs to go, which, as you should know already, almost all of your tosses will release at this upper 45-degree angle. Okay, this is where you should release almost every single toss if you want it to be out of your hand smoothly and have just the right amount of rotations. If you release here, your toss is going to fly this way. If you release here, your toss is going to fly this way. But if you release just in this nice little sweet spot here, it'll give it just enough so it can rotate around however many times you would like to toss it. In this case, just once. So after we've mastered our right flat, practicing our push and where it should release, a couple little detail things is to make sure the second you push, your left hand should stay glued to your thigh when you're doing a single until your catch. Sometimes underneath really high tosses, your instructors might tell you specific things to do with your arms underneath. In this case, we're just going to deal with the principle of push. It stays there until I need it to catch. This hand will stay at my release point, which should be a little bit about here because singles are not super high. Every place kind of has its differing ideas of where a release point should be. For me, I kind of just try to stay within this area of my body, because if I go too high, it's going to be super lofty and we don't want that. We want one nice, single, solid, crisp rotation that happens very quickly. We don't want it high or slow. Okay, so we'll push, release here. Make sure we don't lift our elbow super high or anything like that. Just try to focus on using the isolation of your hand and your wrist to release, not anything else, just like I've talked about in tracks and on drop spins. Okay, so we toss one, it'll look like this. Notice my left hand is at a left flat now. Same thing with my right hand, obviously. You want your right hand when you catch to be all the way flush with the butt. Your pinky should cover the very end. Your left hand should be a fist away from the bolt. And you should catch at a flat position. It should not be tilted up or down either way. So that way we can see it go from one flat to the next. Now, like I said before, there are two different versions of a single. There's one from flat, and there's also one with a dip that some places do. And I'm going to teach both. So next we're going to move on to your right single with a dip. It's the same principles, literally everything I just said, copy and pasted. The only thing that's going to change is before you're going to lift up on 8, as most places do, you're going to come to a cross-body angle, which you should be familiar with from our past videos. Your thumbs are still pressed and everything, just now your left hand should be just inside your shoulder, your right hand should be just outside this area of your right hip, and you're going to push straight down just like you did before, except now you'll have a little more momentum, so you just have to be cautious that you don't overdo it and you don't go past our nice 45-degree angle right here. When I do that, it'll be the same. With the singles from flat, we typically just release on 1. This one I'll be here, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. Okay, so I'll take this 5 and 6 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2. Same thing, catch it left flat, fist away from the bolt, right hand all the way to the end of your gun, and now we can move on smoothly to our left singles. Now we're at a nice comfortable little left flat, so now we can learn singles from our left side. This side should be a little bit more comfortable for those of you that know rifle a little better, because literally all of our rifle tosses, mainly in shows and choreography and even in kind of technique blocks and stuff like that, are all on the left side. You will rarely ever do tosses on your right side. They're very rare, especially when it comes to show stuff, so these are the most important, so please spend your most time on your left side. I'll just say that for future reference. So we're going to start with our singles from flat, just like we did on the right side. We want to think about our gas pedal now being our right hand. It'll push down to my right thigh, staying there is the most important thing. The second it pushes, my butt will hit this 45 on this side of my body. This time the butt is the thing that's up in the air instead of the tip. And this version will be without the dip, so we're not going to bring this up first. We're just going to start right from flat and push on 1 to release. And we'll be catching at a nice right flat. And same thing, like I said, on my right side, we're going to release about this area, except on my left side, it'll be the same thing, but kind of mirrored. So it's on my left side. So I'll show you what that looks like. And 5, and 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, catch 2. Alright, so now that we've done that, I can show you how to do a left single with a dip. Some places practice left singles with a dip because literally every single other toss you do in the ladder, as I call it, or your tosses going up from a single, are all done with a dip. So it's really important that we learn the basics of a dip as well. So we're going to bring my right hand up to my right shoulder, left hand right in front of my hip. And we want to make sure that when we do a dip, it's a nice crisp, sorry, I can't talk. Crisp, solid, there we go, 2 different words. Crisp, solid motion. And your right hand was going to snap up to this position. What I've been told, it really helps my dips become super solid, and it gives me really great momentum going into my tosses, is imagine when you're going into a dip, instead of just pulling this up and this down, think about it as if you're pulling your rifle apart and you're trying to break it from the middle, because it'll give you all this strength from your back that you didn't even know you had until now. And it'll really help, especially on higher tosses, but especially if you're learning, this will help you kind of figure out how your arm and your back muscles work to help you toss this thing. So we're gonna 5, 6, 7. I usually squeeze on 7 just to prep my muscles, and then dip on 8. Remember, pulling apart instead of just pulling up and down. I'm going to push my right hand straight to my leg, left hand will release at my 45. So I'll give you an example right now. And 5, and 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, catch 2. Notice, second I catch my left single, it's on my right side, catching at a right flat. Like I said before, this mimics all other higher tosses you do, so pretty much all higher tosses will land at this nice comfortable right flat. Sometimes the angle might change on how you catch, but just in general you'll catch in the neck and all the way on the nose. Alright you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Like I say in all my other videos, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, they can go in the comment section down below. I read it all the time just to make sure I can give you guys just a little bit more help to help you with all of your different equipment questions. I will be following up this video with a video on how to do singles without the dip in a whole exercise, because I know an exercise just for practicing those singles, and I also know a completely separate singles exercise with a dip that also includes some body movement, so that way you can learn how to do, you know, choreography eventually, and also catch your rifle at a bunch of different angles. Before I upload that, I already have a video for you guys to watch that is how to catch your rifle at a bunch of different angles, and that will prepare you how to do the exercise that has the dip and all the body and stuff, because when we do the different body positions, we'll be catching our rifle at a bunch of different angles. So to prepare yourself and just help your singles, I'd practice catching your singles in those different positions after you've mastered how to do them first. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye!